So I'm going to talk about why 38,000 people wrote a novel last November and how. Any minute.
In about 5 seconds.
So 38,000 people wrote novels last November. Specifically, they completed them on November 30th. And they actually, the most astounding thing about that is they started them 4 weeks earlier on November 1st, because November is National Novel Writing Month. You may have heard of it. It's often referred to as NaNoWriMo. I'm going to call it Nano a lot. And Nano, the challenge of Nano is to write 50,000 words between midnight on November 1st and midnight on November 30th. And this, I'm happy to say, I was one of the 38,000 people who did this last year. This is my word count chart. You can see there was a little dip around Thanksgiving. But I made it. And you might be thinking, well, cool, that's great, but I'm not really the next J.K. Rowling. I'm not a novelist. Well, I'm here to tell you that neither am I. And they don't advertise it much, but there's a growing contingent of what are called nano-rebels. Nano-rebels use the format, the process and structure of NaNoWriMo to do all sorts of things. I used it to write a memoir. Blog posts, plays, poems. Everybody has something. So what I'm here to talk about, though, tonight is what I'm calling the 4 laws of NaNoWriMo, because these are the things that really are the founding principles and the reason we can do in a month what otherwise would take years to do. The first law is the law of insanity. The law of insanity, first you have to be a little nuts to try this, but also the law of insanity is about how crazy goals can be more effective than sensible goals. Writing 50,000 words in 30 days is a crazy goal. And it's kind of the difference between saying, oh, I'm gonna start, mountain climbing someday, versus I'm gonna climb Mount Everest next year. The other part of Nano that's rather insane is the pace. It's a total all-out sprint. And most of us aren't used to writing 2,000 words, roughly, a day. So the nature of the sprint is that we can push ourselves harder because we know that it's temporary, right? The second law of Nano is do not delete. Word count is your only metric for success. 50,000 words is how you win. So you do not press the delete key. It's a little bit like being in a car without brakes, and it can lead to some interesting results. This is an actual sentence my friend Anya wrote last year. She lent it to me, thank you, Anya. But it's really proof that you completely suppress your inner editor. We often don't realize that writing and editing are completely separate activities. It's my compost theory of creativity, which is the more trash that you generate, the more crap. If you keep on going, you'll get closer to those that matter. And the third law of NaNoWriMo is the law of process over product. Process over product. So people usually come to their first NaNoWriMo with an outline, with character sketches, they've got the whole thing planned out. And through the actual writing, they find in week 2 or 3 that they have to toss the whole thing. Because process has value. These are pages from Frida Kahlo's sketchbook, and artists know this instinctively, that the final work you can't have it without all the sketches and the iterations that have come before. But the cool thing about focusing on your process also is that it puts you in touch with curiosity. And curiosity is actually, I believe, the opposite of fear. So when you're not worried about success or failure, some amazing things can happen through curiosity. And the fourth law, and probably the most important law, is the law of community. Your chances of succeeding go up exponentially when you connect with other people with the same goal. And this is true for a lot of things, but especially when in week 3 or 4, you're pretty much thinking that this was a bad idea and you hate everything you've written and you're totally gonna quit, then these people convince you to keep going. And this is actually a write-in, which is when local participants of NaNoWriMo get together and write in the same place. But you're also connected to a much broader community. What started in 1999 with 20 participants has grown to 200,000 worldwide. So that's pretty inspiring in and of itself, but it also helps you believe that it's really, truly possible. And I can tell you it is possible. I'm going to do it again this year. Maybe you are the next J.K. Rowling. You should check out this book by the founder of NaNoWriMo, No Plot, No Problem. Or nanowrimo.org, join the rebellion. I'm going to be doing nonfiction this year. And whether or not you have literary aspirations, I urge you to make some room for those stories that we all have to tell. So why not start in November? Thanks. Thank you.